We're back.
We're back.
Good podcasting here. Mad Hatter Show's
Right
podcast.
here.
I'm Neil Snyder. With me is Chameleon.
Chameleon in the house. For three, this is my third.
Yeah, like I think the next time I'm going to be like, and with me as always, because
That's right.
It's that constant. So.
Because you're like my work husband now. 3 shows.
It is. That's like being friend zoned. I'm used to that shit. So, Mad Hatter Show's podcast. We're doing this again. MadHatterShows.com. If you're not familiar with who we are, absolutely check us out. We do special events, live stand-up comedy, music, sometimes pro wrestling. We've had unique comedy shows, a lot of different things out there. So
been doing a lot. Yeah,
and this is our infomercial to plug our stuff. So we got Jon Reep tonight. This show will have a Hemi tonight. This is
a
something fun. Yeah. So we usually spend the beginning of the show kind of recapping a little bit, and we had. We were double booked last weekend in both Nebraska and in Indiana. So
yeah,
we got an image from last weekend. This was Donnie Baker. This was in Phillips, Nebraska.
That's a packed house.
315 people.
That's a lot of people
in the town. Like when you walk in, it says 315 in the town. We had like 325 at the show. So
the town population is less than.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
We like doubled the we advertised the show as Grand Island. It was like 20 miles outside of Grand Island, but it was like literally like they were out like with the vests on, like they were crossing guards, like parking people, they had buses come in. It was ridiculous.
Were they ready for that?
A lot of fun. We sold a lot of Busch Light that night. That was Nebraska. They drink Busch Light out there, so
no comment.
By the bucket. So
okay.
That was a lot of fun. Jake Rubel opened those shows, and we had a blast out there. You met Jake last night?
From Bloomington.
Yeah, absolutely.
I did just meet Jake. I like Jake.
Very cool. And then we
hung out with Jake last night.
Yeah, we also had some shows in Indiana last weekend.
Yep.
Pull it up. Kevin Farley was at the new Boswell Brewery.
He was, and we had a great time there.
Yeah, you were there.
I was there, and that was a good time.
So now you've done your second Mad Hatter Shows event.
I'm Mad Hatter family. I am.
Already? You got the tattoo yet?
I'm working on it.
Okay,
we're going together. Okay. We're going to get the bestie. I'm going to get the best, and you're going to get the friends.
All right. It's a small cult. That's what's going on.
Oh, there I am.
Proof that you were there.
Look at me and Kevin, and he was awesome. He was so nice.
So it was your first time seeing him on stage?
That was my first time, yeah, of course, and meeting him and everything. I'm telling you, the experience was great.
I think it's a lot of people, they just know the last name and they know,
But he looks like his brother.
He looks like him, but it's a much different. He's much more subtle.
Oh, he's a lot
very
calmer.
reserved. Yes, absolutely. So he's not going to fall through a chair or a table.
Right.
But he's going to still make you buckle over laughing. So that was awesome to get you in there. So. Very cool. Well, it looks like we've already got our first guest is called in. So much for the small talk, right? Let's bring him on here.
Hey, get him on here.
Hey,
there he is.
He's been wearing headphones for a while, right? You had another podcast, and now you rolled into ours. Like it's like a marathon for you, Jon.
Yes, sir. Me and John Heffron do one called Heffron and Reep, and we just wrapped up, and I rolled right into you guys. What have I missed so far? What are we doing?
Nothing. We were just bragging on our shows last weekend, so that was all basically. So I'm Neil. This is Chameleon. We do stand up also. And,
nice.
We're like the ambassadors for Mad Hatter Shows, so we're gonna plug this stuff coming up, and you're gonna be in Evansville, Indiana, and Bowling Green this weekend. So tell us a little bit about what the new tour looks like.
Well, you got me and Reno Collier, and we're doing a thing together. But like you said, Evansville, Bowling Green. You guys are familiar with Reno Collier, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah. It's Bob and Tom country here.
Yeah. Well, Reno, I've known this guy forever. He is naturally one of the funniest, jolliest guys in the world. And when he takes the stage, I don't know why they give this guy a microphone. He doesn't need one. He's got one of those like it just projects all the way out the door to the next building across the street. But he's just got like a just killer personality, funny as crap. And we have a lot in common. And we thought, like, let's pair up. Let's do some Reep and Reno stuff. And that's what you're going to see. I have been trapped at home with my mom during COVID. And so you're going to hear a lot of stories about what it's like being a 49-year-old divorced man who lives with his mother.
With his mother, yes. That's great.
Sounds like a lot of fun. So, like I mentioned, this is Bob and Tom country here. You have your own radio presence. Tell us a little bit about your markets and what you're doing on a daily basis.
Yeah.
I've been on Bob and Tom as well many times. When I go to Indianapolis, I play Crackers, which that's Bob and Tom. That's their home.
We're gonna
that's
edit
their
that shit
backyard.
out when we replay
So
this.
I've been on that show many times. Love those guys. Reno calls in. I know. I've been calling into it. We have our own Bob and Tom in the South called John Boy and Billy, and so I call into those guys once a week when they're not on vacation.
Right.
And I do a segment called Small Town News, which is from my podcast I do called Country-ish. And so what I do is we look for the fun, happy-go-lucky, weird stories that happen in small towns, and then we dissect it, and I report on it, and I call in a John Boy and Billy, and we go over it. I'll give you a headline of my favorite one from last year. And I'm just going to give you the headline, and I'm not going to change a word of it. And you could just figure out the rest.
Okay.
This is the actual headline. Louisiana woman bites a camel in the balls in order to save her deaf dog's life at a truck stop in Florida.
That's a lot of information.
That's like its own country song right there.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah. I mean, I don't even need to read the rest of the story. It's like the headline was the whole story.
Yeah.
But in this news segment, what we do is you hear all about it. This lady pulls over to a truck stop, lets her dog out. It's a deaf dog. This weird truck stop in Florida has its own animal attraction where they've got petting zoo and there was a camel, and this dog who was deaf got away from her owner when she was just letting him out to pee, and the camel sat on the chihuahua. It's like it said, "Oh, look, free dog," and sat on it, and the woman was trying to help save her dog, so she had to get in there. So she crawled in, and then the camel sat on her. So now the camel sat on her and her dog, and in order to, she had to bite, and she's got dentures.
oh my gosh, that adds another
and
level.
So you meet her. There's a video, and she's on all kinds of weird medication. You got to watch that episode.
Okay, yeah.
Oh, okay. So it's a regional station, but I assume that there's probably an app where people can download that and listen to the radio show.
The station, John Boy and Billy, they're syndicated all over the South, but my podcast, you go to countryish.com. You can look up old episodes right there. New episodes come out we go live every Tuesday. And we do segments too. This is one of my favorite segments. Do you guys know what this is? Can you see that? This is a Screen Actors Guild residual check.
Oh, how much?
That's the name of the game.
How much? Okay.
No, the actual name of the game that we play is How Much Is That Screen Actors Guild Residual Check? It's the longest title of any game show on a podcast.
That's a lot of crowd
And what we
interaction.
do is I will open one of these live on the show tomorrow night, and I read to the audience what TV show or movie it's from and how they're airing it, where it's airing, how it's being distributed, and people make guesses, and the closest person to the actual amount, I send them the check.
Nice.
Oh, wow.
Nice. You have some credits.
I like that.
I was looking through your Wikipedia, which it's an especially impressive Wikipedia because it has his signature on it. Not all of them have that. You've got
I did check that out. I
Somehow
saw
that got
that.
uploaded there. But
I don't know if I like that. I didn't do that,
it's
but
fancy.
that is my signature.
Yeah, it's a
that
fancy
can't be a
signature.
good thing for my security.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
They just
I
need
feel
your
like,
I
social
traced
now.
it. I traced it at lunch today. I was
oh no.
But what jumped out at me, Eastbound and Down, you were on the show. Any stories from being on that program?
Oh yeah, dude, that was a dream come true. I was already a fan of Eastbound and Down. So I was married once before I got divorced. During my marriage, that was one of our favorite shows, Eastbound and Down. Okay? We get divorced. It's not good. Now fast forward. I'm on the very show that we watched, and it couldn't have made me happier because I knew that she was somewhere else going like, what the no, you know. So like I got a little victory, but it was great. I was Kenny Powers for Halloween 2 years before I was cast on the show.
That's awesome.
And then fast forward, here I am sitting next to Danny McBride, and we're about to do a whole bunch of scenes together. I was in the last season. I was in 4 episodes out of the 8 on the last season of Eastbound and Down. I played a guy named Jed Forney. I was like an ex-NASCAR champion, and that's how I meet Danny McBride. But he's a cool guy, nice dude, very funny, also very like giving. You know, if you had something funny, like we improv'd a lot. And if you did something that he thought was funny that wasn't in the script, and maybe, you know, the camera wasn't on you at the time, he would be like, whoa, let's do that again. Let's get an isolation shot of John. That was a funny thing. Let's do that. So he's very giving in that way. Yeah. And look, I'll tell you this about the guys on Eastbound and Down. They work hard and they play hard.
Yeah.
Absolutely. What you're talking about with him letting him improv, that's the only way you can do when you've got Will Ferrell in a blonde wig on set, right? Like that's the only thing you can do.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I couldn't have kept a straight face around that guy either. But yeah, Craig, there's a whole outtakes of Craig Robinson and Will Ferrell just busting up. That must have taken all day. And those things happen. Ken Marino, a funny guy, comedic actor. He's been in lots of movies and lots of sketch comedy stuff. There's a scene where he improv'd a whole speech, and really the scene was only supposed to be like, I don't know, maybe 10 seconds of this speech that he was giving. But he ended up doing, I remember that day we shot it, he ended up doing like, I want to say it was at least 5 to 7 minutes, and he was just making stuff up off the top of his head. And they just kept rolling because it was funny, and they didn't want to end it. And they're like, you know, we couldn't tell you to stop doing it because it was so good. Sadly, we're only going to use 10 seconds of this. But
the best 10 seconds.
But it was great.
Awesome. Next weekend with Reno Collier in Evansville and Bowling Green. Evansville, you're going to be at the C.K. Newsom Community Center.
That's a nice place.
Have you been there?
I'm from that area.
That's our first show from that there. Area. So we've done several shows in Evansville, but not there. Yeah. And then the next night at the National Corvette Museum in Bowling Green, which is a very cool place. We just had Ginger Billy there. So we've got redheads rolling through that area.
It is the year of the ginger.
I miss Ginger Billy by this much because he was just in Newton, which is right down the street from where I'm at right now. But I was shooting this film. I'm in this movie that hasn't come out yet. We just shot my scene yesterday where I played a high school history teacher. It's called Something Here. But I had to go shoot that. Otherwise, I would have been at that show, and I would have sabotaged Ginger Billy somehow.
No, it would have been great. We'd have had 3 gingers in here, and if Neil had some hair, I'm sure he'd choose ginger.
Dude, what color was your hair, Neil?
You know what? Before it turned white, it was gray, and then it was like a dirty brown. Like it was But I started going bald like in 11th grade. So
come on.
Never
Dude,
was like a fabulous
people come
brown.
up to me all the time. After a show, after I've talked about being a ginger or whatever, it'll be a bald guy.
Of course.
And he'll walk up to me. He'll be like, dude, I feel your pain. I'm a ginger too. And I'm looking at him and I'm like, no, you used to be a ginger.
Been a ginger.
You are now a bald guy. I say, you are what I like to call a trans ginger.
That's a good one.
You have transitioned from a ginger to a bald man. You're a trans ginger.
I don't ever want to be a trans ginger ever.
So we've named some of your other credits, so I feel like it's safe now to you probably I don't know how it affects you to be known as this other guy, but obviously, like if there's probably some people right now watching and they're like, if we took the beard off that guy, I think I've seen him in commercials. So we've got a clip here, obviously, where if people don't know your name, they probably know this line of commercials. So we're not gonna play this sound because we keep getting our shit shut down by Facebook when we do that.
Look at him.
That was actually not my hair. They put extensions in my hair for that because this commercial was the last one that we did. This was the 6th one, and that was a stunt guy who did that. And then that guy flies off, and I say that can't be good, and then he dies. So you want to hear a quick story about that?
Awesome, yeah, let's hear it.
So I did 6 national Dodge truck commercials over the years. I'll reenact all 6 of them real fast. All right, this is all 6 of them. Here we go. Hey, that thing got a Hemi? You about to find out. Come on, man, floor it. Get me closer. I smell a Hemi. That can't be good. Sweet. That's it. That's all 6 of them, real fast, condensed down, to just that one little time frame. But it was great. I had a good time. But I'll tell you a funny story. That last one that you just showed, okay, so Dodge, okay, so the guy that was my buddy in those commercials, his name's Todd. He's a good actor. He's done lots of cool stuff as an actor. But Dodge was starting to want us to go to a lot of personal appearances. They wanted us to go to the Detroit Car Show. They wanted us to go to Daytona 500, all these events, which was great. And I'm like, hell yeah. And they paid us for it, which was fantastic.
Yeah.
I mean, I was a celebrity judge of a burnout contest. I mean, it was crazy. It was a crazy time. That commercial was like popular, And so, but Todd doesn't like to fly. He's got cystic fibrosis, and he has a pet parrot that he wanted to make sure someone could take care of his parrot while he was traveling, and he needed to stay in hotel rooms that had 24-hour room service. I mean, he was a little high maintenance. And so he was asking for a lot of things where I'm like, hell yeah, let's do it,
Right.
And so on that last commercial, they said, look, Todd, we know you don't want to do these anymore, but we're going to pay you nice. If you just agree to do it. He's like, no, I don't want to do them anymore. And they said, and this is what Dodge did. They said, okay, you don't have to do it, but just so you know, we do own the rights to your face, and we can digitally put you in this commercial whether you want to be in it or not. But if you show up, we'll pay you more than what we would if you didn't show up, because it's going to cost them money to do it. And he goes, no, I don't want to do it. So that commercial you just saw, he wasn't there.
Wow.
They put his face on a stunt guy. And so I was talking to a stunt guy, and when you saw me talking to him, and they just digitally put him in there. So
wow.
That's how bad Dodge was done with him. Like, he's not there. That's old footage of him from other commercials that we had already shot.
Now, did you make that leap right
he's
there?
not talking. It's just him doing this.
That little leap
Yeah,
there,
did
did
you
you
do
do
that?
that? Or was
What's
that a
that?
stunt guy for you?
Say it again.
How much of what we're seeing is you, and how much is a stunt guy?
Okay, now that's me. Now, if you rewind it and you see a wide shot of me on the carrier pulling the cover off,
Yeah.
that's a stunt guy, because they weren't allowed to let me on a moving vehicle because that's a stunt man's job.
Yeah, that's why
And
that
I didn't
little
want to
hop
take the
there.
job
Was that
out of a
somebody
stunt
else's?
man's hands. I was like, oh, I'll totally do it. But this dude made me look ripped as hell. Show it again. I want you to see that one scene where it's a wide shot from above. I look jacked as hell. It ain't me. It's the stunt guy. He's jacked.
Now I'm gonna have to focus.
Can you show it again?
Oh yeah, big difference there.
Okay, so that's me.
Right.
That's me. That's me. Hang on. That's me.
Is that
That's
you?
not. That's not me.
Okay. From the back.
From the back is not me.
Okay, he's ripped.
But it's just a brief second where it's enough to go like, if you didn't know, you'd be like, damn, Reep is jacked.
There you go.
I kind of look like the Ginger Billy.
Yeah, I was telling the producer of this show beforehand, there was people thinking I'd been in the gym lately when I went and had some pictures taken at a convention I was at, and all I'd done is I just had a smaller size shirt, and I was like, that's all it takes apparently. It's just 1X instead of 2, and I don't look like such a fat ass. So that's a fantastic thing. So yeah, we talked about next week. We've got the show with Reno. Talked about some of your acting projects and all that.
Yeah.
Obviously, you're a very accomplished stand-up as well. Last Comic Standing, the winner of one of the seasons.
The big
there.
winner.
And this wasn't from the show. This just showing that you do stand-up. Any memories from Last Comic Standing though, as far as anything we should check?
That was crazy time as well. Season 5, 2007. I don't know where to begin. I had already done these commercials. I already had a half-hour Comedy Central Presents. I was on a sitcom with Rodney Carrington before this, so I was okay. Like, I wasn't hurting for anything. But I have an agent, and he was like, dude, he had been asking me every year, do you want to go audition for Last Comic Standing? And I thought, like, I don't know. I kind of was on the fence about it because I would sit at home and I'd watch these comedians do comedy, and then at the end of their set, they look right in the camera and they go, please vote for me. And it just looked weird. I didn't like that part of it. It looked desperate, you know? And so I'm like, I don't know. I think I'll pass. Because like I said, I was doing fine. I didn't feel like I needed it or anything. But he said, all right, look, this season, you know, if you go down there this season, they're not going to make you live in a house. Okay, everyone's going to get their own hotel room, so you don't have to live with anybody like it's the real world. And this season, it's going to be a worldwide competition. It's not just going to be in America. It's going to be in Canada, the UK, Australia. So it was a worldwide thing.
Okay.
And that was the only year they did that. And then he said, and the prize money is going to go up from $50,000 to $250,000.
That'll do it.
And I thought, I'll go down there. I didn't think I would win. I didn't think I'd get far. I figured they'd be like, oh, okay, here's the redneck guy. Let's go ahead and chalk him up as the redneck guy. You know, you need everybody to fill the boxes. And so I figured, well, I'll go down there and be the redneck guy fresh off the chuck wagon from Hickory. And so
it worked.
But it went well. It kept going. Just kept going. And it was great. I was, you had me. I came in first. Second place was Lavelle Crawford.
Wow.
Third place was a guy named Jerry D out of Canada, who is now one of the biggest stars in Canada. Like, he's had his own sitcom in Canada forever. He's the host of their Family Feud. He's the Steve Harvey of Canada.
Okay.
And then fourth place was Amy Schumer. I'm not sure what happened to her. I hope she's okay.
Yeah.
Silly.
And then you had Ralph Harris. I mean, Doug Benson, Arj Barker. It was a good season.
That's pretty good.
Lavelle Crawford might be the best live show I've ever seen. So if you don't say you beat that guy, like, holy cow,
That's
fantastic.
I thought he would win because he's a triple threat. Like, he looks funny right out the gate just looking at the guy. All right, he's got a weird pointy head. He's got these big eyes, and he's a big round dude. So he looks funny. All right. And he sounds funny. Just the way he talks. It doesn't matter what he's saying. But he's like, man, you're talking about the time. Like, he's always kind of yelling. He's always breathing hard. It's just it's funny just the way it sounds.
Yeah.
And then thirdly, he's actually got really good jokes and material. And so he's a great storyteller. So the whole time I was like, oh man, this is the guy to beat. And what we learned later was Lavelle was killing in the room. So we shot this mostly in Los Angeles. I mean, we did stuff all over the country to get the people. Then you come back to LA, and most of the comedy was shot in Los Angeles. So he was doing well in the room in Los Angeles. He was killing, and everyone else was like doing fine. I was doing fine. But what we didn't realize was at home, you know, people weren't connecting as much as they were in the room. It's a different thing. You guys know this as performers. Yeah. Being in a room and watching a comedian is different than being by yourself in your house and watching a comedian. It's two separate things.
And his style's different than yours.
So he wasn't doing as well. He wasn't translating as well. And so I ended up winning, and I asked Kathleen Madigan, who was one of the judges. I said, Kathleen, I mean, that must have been close. I mean, what was the results? And she said, well, by the time America got done voting, it didn't matter what the rest of the world had done. I won in a landslide. Like, it wasn't even close. And they never say that because they don't want to make it
right.
There's no reason to hurt his feelings like that. But it just, for whatever reason, he wasn't connecting. But I love the guy. He was very funny.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, we're looking forward to having the shows with you. I won't be in the building. I'm actually going to be with Ginger Billy out west in Kansas and in Kansas City, Missouri. So hopefully I'll see you the next time they come around. But if you're in the area, Evansville and Bowling Green, Kentucky, the tickets are at madhattershows.com. How can people find your other projects we're talking about? How can they I'm sure you got a website?
Yeah, well, JonReep.com is the easiest one. JonReep.com. From there, you can get links to my podcast, Heffernan Reep and Country-ish. My special on Amazon Prime called Ginger Beard Man, which has been out for a very long time, but it's still there. And all the tour dates. JonReep.com.
Awesome. Well, I hope we cross paths soon. Thanks for coming in here tonight with us.
Happy Thanksgiving. What are your mom doing for Thanksgiving?
I'm going to be in Hickory for Thanksgiving, eating some turkey with my mom.
All right. Good,
awesome.
Sir.
All right.
Happy holidays, sir.
Thank you, guys. Have a good one.
Yeah,
Bye.
you too. Our super nice people's streak
stuff.
continues. Yeah, that's you do very well. So that's a lot of different varied projects, and that's the kind of the people that are drawn to us. We do the folks that have the the videos that do well. We have folks that came up by doing stand-up. We have the folks with the TV and movie credits.
It's a lot of different people, and I didn't realize how many middlemen there are out there. Like, it's great. I've met so many people already.
Awesome. So we're waiting on another call to come in here. What were your impressions of the weekend shows that you've done with us so far? Tell us a little bit about it.
Hey, we had a ball in where were we? Richmond. Was it Richmond? Yeah.
Richmond's where the
Richmond. I had a good time in Richmond. I had a good time here. All the Mad Hatter shows have been a great experience for me. Everybody should come out and enjoy them. It's just a different atmosphere. Everybody's so nice, and when I come off the stage, somebody was standing there with a drink waiting for me. I was like, I could get used to this, Yeah, there was a real green room, and I was just bathed with love, and I can come back anytime you guys want me to.
You're a celebrity now. You're a Mad Hatter show.
I'm working on it. I'm hoping they scream Mad Hatter Lady.
I got recognized in Iowa from the Mad Hatter podcast. It was on the Donnie Baker show, and the guy had driven down from South Dakota, so I was.
And he knew you.
Yes, but the thing was, like, he had been watching all the shows because he was a big Donnie Baker fan. It wasn't because of me.
Oh,
but,
okay.
You know what I mean?
So
I was like, they like in Iowa, they're just excited for us to show up. But no, he came down specifically for that artist. So I guess I'm still just the fluffer, not the.
You're
the
a good
guy,
fluffer. You're a professional fluffer, and we appreciate your fluffing services. We do.
Awesome. We got another guest that's going to be calling in here in a second, but he's not done that yet. So let's go ahead and show a couple of the shows that we've got coming up.
It's a lot of shows
in the future because we're talking about next weekend, and so now Chris has emerged. So let's just talk about next weekend in a hurry. Jon Reep is going to be on the 19th and 20th. So we're going to have him in Evansville, Indiana, and in Bowling Green, and that's going to be on Friday and Saturday.
That's where my people are. I'm right in
Send him a message.
There.
Tell him to go there.
Get on there.
Peace out. The Thursday show next week that we have is Christopher Titus. It's going to be in Oshkosh, Wisconsin, and then I'll be with Ginger Billy and with Brandon Rainwater in Wichita and Kansas City. So. We'll have a lot of fun, and we're gonna kind of preview all those after the show is over here. But our other calling guest has arrived, so. There he is. Christopher Hightower. How are you?
Mr. Hightower.
I'm doing good, man. How you feeling?
Good. This poor guy was like, hey, you want to do this podcast? And he's like, yeah. And then I was like, hey, never mind. And then this afternoon I was like, hey, we still need you. So and then he's right on time, but 2 minutes early I texted him and said, are you still coming? So yeah, I've just been annoying the hell out of Chris. But we go back, what, a decade almost?
Yeah, man. About a good 8 years, 8.5 years.
All right. So maybe you can give
one of the first people I did a show with when I first started doing comedy.
Really?
Yeah. So you can maybe give Chameleon some insight on the types of venues I've taken you to. She's been spoiled. I put her in front of a couple hundred people with Mick Foley off the bat. Where's some of the places I've taken you?
I started in a room with 12 people, 15 people. Like, at first I was doing open mics over in Champaign, And then once I really started taking things serious, it was definitely a growing process. It was definitely a growing process, going from little rooms to nicely attended shows to then finally doing really big shows. It's like you see the difference.
Oh, definitely. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's beautiful though. Like it's all beautiful.
And by really big shows, I assume you're talking about places like Winnemac, Indiana.
Oh man, hey, how often do you get to go to a pizza joint in Northwest Indiana with 80 people, just 80 random small town people?
Wow.
Like, and it was fun as hell though.
I think I'm on my way.
I'm
headed
we're
down
gonna
there.
have Chameleon there the next one, so that's
Oh, you're gonna have fun.
Lay the scene
You're
out
gonna
for
have
it.
fun. It's a fun room.
Okay.
It's a fun room.
I'm gonna hold you to that.
It is, and for real, it's one of those situations where, like the town I'm in Danville, in smaller towns that don't have a regular comedy scene, when they do get a show, like they gonna come out and they gonna have fun and they gonna enjoy themselves and remember it. So like that's definitely one of the things I take away from doing those smaller shows, and that's why, like, for real, I fuck with Neil. Can I cuss? My bad.
You can.
Well, you already did.
You can.
Okay, good point. Very good point. But no, like that's why I fuck with Neil. Like Neil done had me in some of the most randomest fucking places.
I believe that.
But I always have fun. So.
Well, I'm just following him around. Let's just go.
Hey,
I take Chris places that
you're gonna find yourself in some strange situations. Like, what the fuck?
I'm taking
like,
Chris to some places that, like, not everyone that looks like Chris would be comfortable going there, and Chris slays the room. That's
look, it's places where people that look like Neil aren't comfortable going there.
Now,
and you just gotta roll with it and have fun because they're there to have fun.
Yeah.
Like,
at the end of the day, you're right.
So we had a show in Montezuma,
that's
Indiana.
The beauty of what we do.
I don't know if you remember Montezuma, Indiana. This was like, I don't know, 200 people in this town. It was like a place where like the floor is sunk in. Part of the place is in the bar. We put like 20 people in there.
That town ain't no bigger than 6 blocks and a Dollar General.
Oh wow!
Like that is the city. You know what I'm saying? 6 blocks and a Dollar General.
So we got
a gas station.
20 hillbillies or 20 people performing to a bunch of hillbillies, just a bunch of small town folks.
Yes.
And Chris won the favorite. It was a competition, and they voted him the best comic of the night in this little tiny town. So that
says a lot, Chris. That says a lot.
Like we got a photo of the like one of the people that came in. Here's a different one. Here's when we were in Terre Haute. I just threw this one in just to kind of throw some shade at the folks running the shows at Tolly's right now. Because hey, look, we used to fill that fucking room.
You're such a good shade thrower.
They can fit more than they currently are getting. But here's another one we did. Remember the Barefoot Burger, Chris?
Yes. The opportunity to possibly have heart failure. I was there. Didn't we ate that burger?
Yeah, I've got a photo of that here too. If you can dig for the burger photo and the trophy photo. There we go.
Okay, you ain't got it. You did
How
not
many
have to
patties
do
is that?
It was a 10 patty challenge, and you can see none of us had it. There's like 5 of us that tried it.
Chris looks like he's gonna pass out.
None of us even ate like half of it. It was ridiculous. But the gimmick was we all did the show, and then we tried to beat the burger challenge.
And nobody did.
I probably screwed up by putting a bunch of big guys on it too, because like it's usually the young guys that can really eat like that.
Yeah.
But this was a fan made trophy for the competition, and there's me presenting it to him.
They love
and
you.
the old what was it called? It's not even open anymore, but it was called like Old Willie's Tavern or something. Like it was.
I thought it was Saloon.
Yeah, it was a saloon.
Okay, that's old.
Saloon. Something, man. It was an adventure. I'll tell you that much. I went down 49.
They loved
and
you.
went left, and then it was like you're gonna go left, and then you're gonna take another left. And I took the first left, and was supposed to take the second left, and I was really in the middle of some shit that I had like. That was one of the few times I've been in my car and I really ensured that the doors was locked and prayed, because it was like, where am I at right now? hit 3 turns, turned around, got back out, went down, went left again, and got there. I had an absolute ball.
But I think that's something a lot of artists, professional wrestlers, musicians, comedians, when you're hungry, you're going to go to little towns. You're going to go anywhere to be able to put on your craft. That's part of it.
People just want the opportunity to get out there and do this and share their gift. And towns like that want it. Towns like that want that entertainment. They want to laugh. They want to have events. Yeah. So going and providing that is a joy for real. And I get to cuss at people.
There you go.
Appreciate you, yeah.
There you go. So you run a show every month in Danville. You're pretty much the king of Danville comedy. I mean, there's
is that saying something?
I think so.
There's not really a number 2 competitor at this point. So tell them a little bit about the shows you've got, because you're getting bigger events now.
I'm actually doing a Funny First Friday. At the first Friday of every month, I do a show. I bring down 2 to 3 comedians from Chicago or St. Louis or Indianapolis. We've had comedians come from a decent ways. Neil actually brought Tim, one of the funniest comedians that ever performed, at my room. And he's in Atlanta, I believe,
he's in Atlanta.
Right?
He's talking about Tim Murray. Tim Murray was Lavelle Crawford's travel partner. We were just talking about Lavelle Crawford.
Just talking about him.
He held his own on that show with Lavelle, and I was like, I got to get him on some stuff. So,
hey, dude came up and absolutely killed the room. He did like an hour just going. It was like, oh shit.
One of my favorite moments in comedy ever was Tim on stage telling a joke that kind of took on its own life. Well, it was the joke was a 5-minute joke that ended up being like 15. And by the time the joke was over, he's sitting on the ground, like trying to compose himself, and then he would throw another tag on it, and the room would explode again. It was just like, it was a magical moment.
Yeah, oh man. So now I'm sitting here playing the joke in my head. And it's like,
yeah, and then I was like, Tim, you should do that joke tomorrow in Crawfordsville. He's like, no, it won't work.
Yeah.
So it's just like, it was that one moment in time that it worked well. But it's fair to say, though.
But no, I do the Funny First Friday in Danville, the first Friday of every month. And I'm actually, in December, the flyers go out this week. I'm going to start my first show in Champaign also.
Oh, nice.
So it's going to be Funny First Friday and Saturday Night Laughs in Champaign, the first Friday and Saturday of every month. And just to bring urban comedy down here a little bit, we don't get a lot of any kind of comedy, but
we're going into Champaign too. That's ambitious.
Say that again?
That's ambitious going to Champaign, because you're the king in Danville. There's some kings already in Champaign, so that's.
And the thing is, I'm not going over there for any type of, you know what I'm saying, competition or no shit like that. It's just, I know that town doesn't have a lot of urban comedy.
Right.
Sure.
So just like here in Danville, I've been doing Funny First Friday for so long. And now, I mean, Neil, you were bringing the Mad Hatter show to Danville, and one of the purposes of that is to bring a different type of comedy to Danville.
Yeah, and for lack of a better term, Chris messaged me and said, "Hey, the owner wants to start doing white shows." Like that's, which is the same phrase that Chameleon used.
I said it the nice way, Neil.
But yeah, the Chameleon, the same thing. She messaged me the other day. She goes, "How do I start getting on some white shows?" So that's actually a topic we can bring up here, though, because your room, your Funny First Friday is a majority black crowd. The show I put you on in Winamac, you were the only black guy in the room.
I was the only black person in that town. I was the only black person inside of a 14 square mile radius at the time. Like, I really went into the belly of the beast and came out.
Which do you prefer? Yeah. Which kind of crowds do you prefer? How do you approach them differently? Is there any difference, or do you just do your thing?
A lot of me is just me being me. Like, one of the best things you can do on stage is just be your authentic self. But at the same time, people got to understand that everybody has multiple sides, you know what I'm saying? So if I'm in, and then as a black person, like, at the end of the day, you gotta somewhat assimilate to mainstream culture. So for me, it's not crazy that I know a Taylor Swift song,
right,
or that I know, you know what I'm saying, what's mainstream over there. So I can go on that side and talk about shit, and when I say the shit, they're like, "Oh my fucking goodness, he knows about that."
How did he know this? I know.
Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm from the middle of nowhere, Illinois. I know about the getting drunk in a cornfield and, you know what I'm saying, going mudding and all of that type of shit.
So you're relatable.
When I start talking about that shit, they just like mind blown. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But like, I have to be able to adapt to that. And then I'm still a black man, so of course, you know what I'm saying, I'm gonna be able to do that type of a room. So like, I really don't have a favorite, especially since I started this campaign in predominantly white rooms. So like, it's a fear that I never even got to have, because that's where I started.
Yeah, I definitely get where you're coming from. My first show ever was in it was, you know, everybody in the room was black except the two people that came with me, and it was kind of the same thing. There was a DJ there. I was like, is there always a DJ at comedy shows? And I had him play a Too Short clip for one of my songs, and there's like people coming off the pool tables like, this white guy knows Too Short. Like, so it's the same thing. Like, you know what I mean?
Bingo.
That's funny, because my first white show, I was like, where's the DJ? And does he need my music?
Right.
And there's like, there's no DJ. I'm like, oh no. So yeah.
Right.
So my third show was the hip hop comedy spot, because clearly when you think of hip hop, you think of Neil. Like, that's the, you know.
I mean, I definitely get those hip hop vibes.
Sometimes it works out though. Sometimes it does not. I remember one of our first shows together for kind of a shady promoter that was an interesting night. But he had me following Chris, the local, who had just destroyed the room, and gave me like the worst intro ever. He's like, hey, we got this white guy came from Indiana, give him some love. And like the room scatters, like no one is paying attention. And I had to, and then I'm supposed to be getting paid on this show, right? So I can't bail.
Yeah.
So I mean, I just ate shit for like 20 minutes. It was the absolute worst thing ever. So I gotta say thank you to Chris, because when he brought me up to Funny First Fridays, there was nobody else white in that room, and he did not leave me shitty when he brought me up. He was like, this is my guy.
Okay, good.
You know, treat him good. You know, this is my, you know, one of those things is basically like give this dude a chance. And I had him laughing then, you know. But we've all had those circumstances where things don't go well. But you've been doing great in front of all kinds of audiences. We've had you in front of Kevin Farley and Chris Kattan. You know, in a mainly white room, and you've done very well there. But you've also obviously opened for some other big names. I think we've got a picture of like a collage of some of the big recognizable names that you've shared the stage with and been on TV with.
That's pretty nice.
Yeah, tell us a little bit about Steve Harvey. How'd that happen?
Did we lose him?
I don't know. It's like he's paused right now. Like he's there
frozen. How'd you meet Steve Harvey?
Oh, there you're back. We're asking you about how Steve Harvey went down.
Man, that was crazy. I literally just tweeted something. And somebody from the Steve Harvey show responded. It was about the Battle of the Sexes challenge, and I just tweeted at it, and they hit me back, and they had me on, and it was definitely an experience. It was an experience. Like, Steve is like a real boss, like boss, like man. And when you see him walk into this studio smoking a cigar, just, you know what I'm saying, like commanding the room, it's like, bruh, you know, this is a no smoking state inside.
Not sure. There he is.
Yeah.
I think you might have hit the microphone button.
Did I freeze again?
Yeah, well, we were seeing you, but we didn't have the closed captioning up, so we didn't hear what you said because your volume went down.
What I was gonna say is, like, seeing Steve, like, you know, he's like a real boss. Like, this dude comes into the room smoking this big cigar, and it's just like, bro, this is a no smoking state. What are you doing? You just be smoking inside like that. But then you remember, wait, this is the Steve Harvey show. Yeah. This is his stage. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's he just commanded the room. It was fun. It was quick. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was fast. Like, they told you don't make direct eye contact with Steve. Make sure you don't touch him. I'm just playing.
Whoa! I'm writing all this down, so don't play with me.
She was like, "Damn, not Steve."
I know, right?
Steve was one of the real ones.
thought he was
Don't
one
tell
of
me
us,
Steve
man.
acted like that.
Bougie motherfucker.
He was real cool. He was real cool, man. But like that was like a TV type deal. So like the comedians that I've been able to work with on like a show type setting, like that was like completely different. And that I learned so much from that. You know, I learned from those moments. Like seeing Mike Epps perform, you know what I'm saying, seeing Michael Blackson, seeing Corey Holcomb, seeing all of these different, you know what I'm saying? And then having friends in the city who are performing and they breaking into doing big things. The first person I ever brought down here for Funny First Friday was a comedian named Dandrell Scott from Chicago, who now is in LA and is doing multiple acting jobs and is the voice of Wendy's.
Yeah, isn't that
Like,
wild when somebody
really?
you used to book for much less money blows up? It's like
Yeah.
that with me with Ryan Niemiller. You know,
Yeah.
like that dude is, you know, he's making all kinds of money now doing comedy, and I'm like, I put that guy in Montezuma. You know, the same place that you remember in Montezuma.
Yeah.
So, you know, different circumstances,
That's
same
one of
jokes.
that's one of those things that really makes you like love what you're doing.
Yeah.
Because you never know where it's gonna take you and the joy that it can bring you. You know what I'm saying? Like this dude, the next time you see a Wendy's commercial, I want you to listen to the voice. Listen to the voice. The next time you see a Wendy's commercial, listen to the voice. And then Google Dandrell Scott. Dandrell Scott. And I'm telling you right now, that voice he using ain't his real fucking voice. I know him.
Right.
That he's
getting
just
paid
the
for it,
happiest-
so.
You can eat at Wendy's. You know what I'm saying? And he cold at that shit and getting paid. But it's like when I talk to him, it's like, bruh, like, that's not you. He's like, no, that's me. I know how to fucking talk, Chris. I know how to talk.
That's
Well, you've got
You know what I'm
you've got people
saying?
that go national, that get movie credits, that get sitcoms, that get commercials, that kind of stuff. But across the country, there's towns where there's scenes and there's people doing things, and sometimes the
Yeah.
funniest people are the Chris Hightowers of the country. You know what I mean? Like that's if Chris moved in Indianapolis, he'd be top 5
You've
on
told
the
me
spot.
that before.
On the spot. Like there'd be, you know, there'd
Yeah.
already be people intimidated getting on a show with him. So, you know, tell some
you.
people about how they can follow your Champagne thing, your Danville thing. Where can they find you online?
You can find me on all social media at Funny C High. If you type that in on Facebook, it takes you to my comedy page. On Instagram, Twitter, that's my tags at Funny C High. That's where I post all my information. By the end of the year, I'm finally gonna have a website. I'm growing up.
Hey,
You know what I
hey.
mean? Like I've had people tell me similar things to what Neil just said for like years, and it's like I just be on bullshit, just like having fun doing what I'm doing. But it's like, you know, you really gotta like, when you finally realize you want to take this shit serious, you can take it to the next level.
Yeah. When there's people that bought
And-
tickets to meet the guy from A Night at the Roxbury, and they're lining up to meet him, and they leave the line to get a picture with Chris Hightower, he must have done well. You know what I mean?
That's
like that's
pretty
you know,
Man.
when you go to hey, let's
And-
get a picture with the opener. You know what I mean? So you're getting great feedback. You got me another show in Winamac. You know, so,
Hey, that's what's up.
now you better not drop
We
the
can
ball,
hit Winamac
committee.
Okay.
That's
We can hit
No
Winamac
pressure.
again in a few months. Just me and her, and we just, you know what I'm saying? Oh my God, there's black people.
There you go.
I'm telling you, man. But I tell you this much, and I tell people this all the time, and they tell me I'm crazy. But once again, Funny C High, FUNNYCHIGH. But everybody always tell me, like, oh, you're going to blow up, you're going to do this, you're going to do that. And I'm telling you right now, if it were to happen and when it happens, I'm still going to be doing shows in Winamac. And in, you know what I'm saying? And look, because that's real people.
I'm calling this a verbal contract right
Yeah,
now.
make him
At the
sign.
same pay rate? Is that a... Cause
Sign right here.
Hey, I'm telling you, I got you. Because those are the type of rooms I could go and work a whole 45 out in. And the crowd is going to fuck with me the whole way. They going to give me feedback. Like, those are the type of shows that the big names do anyway. They just do them in night nightclubs and shit.
Yeah.
Like they do a random ass nightclub set and they there for like 25, 30 minutes working some shit out. And it's like, you really not doing that in front of real people 9 times out of 10.
Right.
Unless they just pop in to do it. If it's them like really performing to an audience, like 80% of the time it's industry people, it's posse, it's other comedians, and you don't really get real feedback. You get comedian feedback, which is always going to be some form of construction. You know what I'm saying?
It's not a real,
like they're going to tell you what to say in your joke. Now in some cases that's cool. Like in some cases that's cool, but then in some cases it's just like, bruh, like, I'm sorry, but a crowd like that is gonna let you work your joke out, and you gonna know if it's funny or not.
Yeah.
You know, and it ain't gonna be nah, I'm gonna try and help you punch that joke up. I'm gonna try and save it. No, if that joke don't work there, guess what? You might need to scrap that.
Yeah.
But I think we're both writers, basically. I mean, we both do crowd work, but I write my jokes ahead of time.
Too. I'm a writer.
And then I may try a joke I wrote on the way to the show, but I write my jokes. Chris is one of those guys that, like, I kind of get pissed at him a little bit because
spontaneous.
He might roll up and just start. He can talk about something and it's already funny. You know, there's those people that, you know what I mean? Like, he can do material. He's got stories too that he's worked out and told the stories so well that they do very well. But also, he can talk about his walk to the inside of the building and what's going on in the room for 20 minutes, and it's still funny the whole way through. And I'm like, fuck, I wish I was like that. But I'm not.
Hey,
you know?
I swear to you, that's one thing that I've always been able to do that I didn't understand how rare it was. Like, and I hate to say something like that because that sounds arrogant as fuck. Like, that sounds like, you know what I'm saying? But
I'm telling you, I've done this almost 10 years. You and Jeff Tate out of Cincinnati are number 1 and number 2. I won't say which one's which. Being able to just basically, hey, I just heard a news story on the way here. Let me talk about it for 15 minutes, and it's funnier than the set I wrote. You know, I'm just like,
man.
Shit. So,
and what's crazy, that's kind of why I sat there and said, like, I've been on bullshit, because that's what's hot right now, is making those little short videos, TikTok, talking about current events. You know what I'm saying? I just don't do all the editing and all that extra shit. Just and it's crazy because that's what my degree is in. my college degree is in electronic media production.
Wow.
And I do not want to produce the electronic media of myself because goddamn, that shit is boring.
I have my 13-year-old grandson teach me how to do TikTok. You gotta get a kid so they can teach you.
I done had so many people tell me to get on TikTok. And I'm just like, I'm a fucking adult.
Mad Hatter Shows is getting ready to basically upgrade and overhaul our social media too, and it's like we're hiring it out. You know what I mean? It's like it's the kids know what they're doing, and we're like we're in that weird around the same age kind of thing where we're just like, why can't we just put up a poster and go tell jokes?
I'm funny. No.
Right? Like, I don't feel like I don't feel like I should have to do all of this work to sell you that I'm funny. Like, come to a fucking show. I bet you I'll make you fucking laugh. I bet you fucking laugh. You know what I'm saying? Why do I need to make you 38 4-second videos and have 18,000 gifs and all this other shit?
The way of the world.
I don't know, man.
The way of the world.
Get off our lawn. So, Chris Hightower, hopefully...
I'm yelling at clouds right now. I'm Abe Simpson in this bitch.
Hopefully we keep working together. I'm looking forward to doing some more stuff, and maybe you'll get us out to Champaign. That'd be great. Or to Danville.
I'd love to come work with you. Yeah.
I'm winking.
2020, I'm finally going to take this shit serious. 2022. I'm finally ready to, like, grow the fuck up big comedy.
Awesome. So, don't forget us on your way up here, and I'm sure Mad Hatter Shows folks are going to see Chris on some other stages because we like to get him on stage when we can. So, thank you so much for coming out here, and we'll see you around soon.
Have a good night, Chris.
Thank you very much. Y'all have a great night. Thank you for having me.
Awesome. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
You love Chris, don't you?
Chris is one of my...
You love him. I know you do.
I've been doing this 10 years, and there's a small group of people in different areas that have basically they've been down from the beginning.
Yeah.
They've done shows for $50. They've done shows that were charity that they showed up at. They've been shows where there were 9 people in the crowd, and you know what I mean? Like
Loyalty.
and they've been through the big things and the small things and everything in between, and they're like, you know, I could probably, if my car broke down in Danville, I could call Chris and he wouldn't be like, is there stage time involved? Like, he'd come pick me up. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like
well, you
he's
speak
a
so
good
highly
dude.
of him all the time.
So there's you know, there's a small group of folks that I, you know,
that you like.
If
you
we
can say it,
and if we blow up, they're going to be the first ones that start reaping some of the benefits too. So that's we want to get folks on things like that. So
it's the benefit of being on the Mad Hatter Show.
Absolutely. So earlier, like right before he called in, I was like, let's jump ahead to the calendar, and now it's actually time to do the calendar. So let's talk about next Thursday.
You got a lot to talk about here.
Yeah, that's the other thing. Mad Hatters, I say if we blow up, we are expanding.
You're blowing.
We're doing a lot of shows here. Thursday night, the 18th, we've got Christopher Titus in Oshkosh, Wisconsin. It's a one-night thing. He's also going to be in Hobart, Indiana in December on the 16th. So if you're near any of those areas, he was recently in Indianapolis on one of our shows. We hope to keep figuring out chances for us to get him on stage. One of the best working comics right now. When we had him on the podcast.
Yeah, I remember. He's talented, funny.
Awesome. So
he
that's,
liked me. So,
he did. He might have liked me. I don't
know if he liked you.
MadHatterShows.com. Tickets for that show. Now, that same night, if you are further west, perhaps you would like to come to Wichita, Kansas, to the American Legion, where we're going to have Ginger Billy. Ginger Billy. There's one of his newer videos. You can see his stage show, like he told us on that same podcast.
And does he do it with no shirt?
He does it with no shirt.
Wow. See, ladies, there you go.
And no shoes, too.
No, you don't even need to know if he's funny. He won't have a shirt on, so there you go.
But yeah, his stage show is pretty well not online. So you're going to, you know, if you've enjoyed his videos, come check him out. We've got on the 18th in
super nice guy too.
Wichita. The 19th, he's in Kansas City, actually in the Independence, Missouri side. That American Legion. We've also got shows coming up in Maumee, Ohio, in Saginaw, Michigan, and Burlington, Iowa. So,
lots of shows.
Yeah, if you're anywhere near any of those spots, consider a quick road trip to check out Ginger Billy. So,
look at him.
Next weekend, we're double booked on the Thursdays, and then coming on Friday and Saturday, we've got Jon Reep and Reno Collier. So we just talked to Jon Reep. He kind of previewed what was going to go on with that. So you're going to get some good-natured redneck humor in the Evansville.
Ginger beard man. Ginger beard. I like that.
We are. We're going to just have to get everybody with a red beard on our product. That's.
We have to get Santa Claus next.
We're going to book Santa Claus. That's how you blow up. Is you book Santa Claus.
I think he was a ginger though. Before he,
It was he?
Before his hair.
Is there an Origins movie?
Santa Claus was a ginger. I'm pretty sure. Somebody let me know if I'm wrong, but I'm almost positive he was.
All right, more shows coming up. Donnie Baker and the Pork Pistols coming up with his band.
The Pork Pistols.
His band is the Pork Pistols. Yeah, here's one of his impassioned pleas for Kid Rock to help him out. This is you can find this on YouTube, but his band is going to be with him in Indianapolis on the night before Thanksgiving at the Irving Theater, also at Diamond Pub and Concert Hall in Louisville, Kentucky on the December 3rd, and we got a whole bunch of shows coming up with him just doing solo stand-up. So those shows include, looking at my sheet here because there's no way I could memorize this, Richmond, Indiana on the 26th, Muncie on the 27th of November, New Albany, Indiana on December 4th, Jasper, Indiana, and Danville, Illinois. We were just talking about the room that Chris does Funny First Fridays in. We're gonna get that first white show in there with Donnie Baker. We're gonna get Chris and opening one of those white shows though, because he could do it. Martinsville, Indiana on March 25th, Peoria, Illinois area on March the 4th, and then a couple shows in Wisconsin in April. So we're always scheduling Donnie Baker shows. He's one of our favorite folks to work with. So definitely check out MadHatterShows.com, and come out and enjoy Donnie Baker, and in some cases, the Pork Pistols.
Why do I laugh every time you say pork pistols?
You're supposed to laugh.
I know, but it just tickles me.
It's so ridiculous. And
pork
so
pistols.
It's profane, but it's cute.
But I know I giggle.
It's both.
I can. Well, no, I'm not going to tell you what I see. It's too much.
I know what you see, Chameleon. That's and
That's scary.
the show was like a G-rated until Chris was like, "Can I cuss?" And then it was like it got out of control in a hurry. But
right.
So another show, we got some folks debuting with us in December. The Hodge Twins will make their first shows with us on December 17th and 18th in Terre Haute and Evansville, Indiana. We then have an entire weekend in Fort Wayne. We've sold out the Friday show, so we added a Saturday. It's going to be at Pierre's in Fort Wayne, and then we also have April Fool's Day. There's going to be a show in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. We had to upgrade. We moved the show, and we moved it to a larger theater. So these guys are selling tickets. It'll be at the Riverside Theater in
I'm sorry,
Milwaukee.
I started staring. I lost you for a minute. I was just I was staring at this.
We've been booking a lot of
Twins.
handsome folks for the show, and that's
you
know,
lost me
I think
for
it's
a
to
minute.
offset the host of the show. I think
That's why I keep showing
they're just
up.
like, they're like, Neil can't be the face of this brand. Let's get
Wow.
Ginger Billy's abs and the Hodge Twins arms, and like we got Christopher Titus's hair.
Whatever works.
Yeah, we got to get
Sex
these
sells.
handsome folks. Absolutely.
sells.
And then they're like, let's get a lovely co-host. So that's
Ta-ding!
there you are.
And
Holy
poof,
cow.
there she was.
More shows coming. Where are we at? Reno Collier's also going to be doing shows with Josh Arnold. So Reno's been hopping on some different things here. Josh Arnold, one of the hosts of the Bob and Tom Show.
Hey.
Haywood Banks is. We've been done several
Haywood.
shows with him with his funny style with his songs, and he does some stand up too, but a lot of funny songs. Dates with him coming up in Martinsville, Indiana, on January 7th. Lebanon, Indiana, on January 8th. I know his opener in Lebanon is me, so you should definitely come to that show.
Yeah.
And if you don't, the next month he's in Greensburg, where I'll be the opener on the 25th. And if you're just like, I can't take you, Neil, but I'd like to see Haywood. Indianapolis the next night, Chameleon will be the opener. So, yeah, we'll both be, I'm sure we'll be plugging that one ahead of time and having a competition on which night you're going to come out. You're going to see Neil on the Friday show or Chameleon on the Saturday. But either way, you're going to get Haywood Banks. And then also Richmond, Indiana on March 11th. So
You get Haywood Banks on a great fluffer. How about that? You get a great fluffer.
I don't know if I could say fluffer on a Haywood show. He's Haywood's a G-rated comic, so or a light PG. So
Well, you get a great PG.
but sometimes parents bring their kids because they've grown up listening to
Well,
his
look
silly
at him.
music.
He's got a sweet little guitar. I'd bring my kids too.
Yeah, there's like a elementary school section in Plainfield when he was
I love
there.
it.
So, yeah, some of our shows are family friendly. So check out what's going to be best for you and come out. Here's one that's not family friendly. Let's talk about Catfish Cooley making his debut.
Yeah, that's not
with our
family
brand.
friendly right there.
He's going to cuss a little. He got famous off the one chip challenge, and you can see this is one of his viral videos that went out there. Catfish, definitely fun adult entertainment, and we're going to have him in the Peoria area on the 28th of January.
He has a void stamped on his tattoo. I've never seen that. Okay.
And on the 29th, he's going to be in Plainfield. So, yeah, this is actually, if you want to see how this ends, it's quite funny. You should find it on YouTube because he's going to be eating some really spicy things here and filming his reaction to how it goes. So, yeah, a lot of folks that have a good stage show that also have a lot of fun content out there to watch on the videos. Here's another debut that we're going to have. Cletus T. Judd. I don't know if you remember I don't want to tell your age to everybody, Chameleon, but you might remember this guy from the 90s.
His name sounds vaguely
He was like the country Weird Al Yankovic.
Yes.
He is out of retirement, as you're seeking his shirt. He's back.
Awesome.
And so he's going to be doing some shows. We got him in West Virginia for 2 shows. I think Reno Collier's going to open those too. So like Reno's like he knows what's up. He knows to hop on the Mad Hatter shows. But you may remember My Cellmate Thinks I'm Sexy, that song from the 90s. Police. That was Cletus T. Judd. He did a lot of that was the She Thinks My Tractor's Sexy. That was the parody song.
Okay,
of
I'm
that.
gonna have to. Yeah, I remember it. I'm going to Google it.
Yeah, so this dude, he's gonna be a lot of fun. We have 2 shows announced with him so far, and here's the thing too. Like, you've been watching the show tonight, and you've been seeing the bottom of the screen list the dates we have. We are negotiating for like shows throughout the year. There's gonna be more shows added with a lot of these folks. So if your city's not listed, don't tune out. Follow the page and see when you're gonna be able to possibly have these folks in your area. So I think I've covered all of them except
You've covered the whole state of Indiana.
I haven't covered Dustin Sims yet. We got another weekend with Dustin Sims coming up. He just announced him today. The whole tour for the first quarter of the year. The first weekend of February, we're going to have him on 3 Indiana shows: Hobart, Terre Haute, and Richmond. So those should be a lot of fun. He brings Jesse Payton with him. A lot of bro comedy there. There's a lot of testosterone in the room. That's another one.
Great.
Another one to leave the kids home when you're going to be there. But a lot of fun. One of the nicest guys I've met in comedy so far. So all these shows are available at madhattershows.com. So I don't even know how to wrap all this up. We've just
lots of good entertainment.
Go to the website, check us out. Next weekend, Jon Reep and Reno Collier going to be on the Friday and Saturday. We've also got shows with Ginger Billy and Christopher Titus. So Mad Hatter Shows is getting bigger. We're
Everywhere.
putting more stuff out there, and glad you're along for the ride here. Chris Hightower may be along for the ride on some of this stuff. We're building our army, so hop on board so you can say, like, I know these guys before they were cool. Before Mad Hatter Shows, this is gonna be like the No Limit Soldiers in WCW, like this, where everybody had the name. You can be Sergeant Chameleon.
Okay, I want to be a sergeant.
All right. Well, hey, we'll see you here in a couple weeks. I know that we're gonna have a more regular schedule coming up. We haven't confirmed the next headline guest yet, so I can't tell you we're here in 2 weeks or 3 weeks, but we'll be here in 2 or 3 weeks, and then you'll be able to see us a couple times a month. You'll be able to count on us. You'll be able to set your clock by us.
We'll
see you next time, guys.
You can count on me.